Oh shit. Oh yeah, more in. All right. Let's let the people go in. We're gonna chill and get it right. All right. And Happy New Year to everybody. You know, Happy New Year to everybody. We coming in. It's a new year. Everything rolling right. We're gonna do what we gotta do. All right. So we just want to say Happy New Year. And 2020 has been real trying, man. Been real trying. But we succeed because we made it and we still here. You know what I mean? So it was all right. I got my good brother up here, Agbana. I had the other day. He from Philly. I like his conversation. I think he got a lot to give to you. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try and keep this short so everybody know, including my panel. We're gonna try and keep it short to about an hour. You know what I mean? And knock it out. Now, 2020, we don't had important rappers that could have been somebody because they could have gotten extended or expanded beyond the rap game. You know what I mean? But we lost them. We lost Nipsey Hussle in 2019, Pop Smoke 2020. You know what I mean? I can't believe the kid was only 20. Tell me I'm wrong. I know that young man was only 20. Because as far as he had a good career ahead of him if he was only 20. And we got Huey, who died at 31. We got King Vaughn, who died at 26. You know what I mean? God, oh man. Then we got MO3. So we got the rappers. We got a lot of gun violence, man, that we got to stop and we got to cure and get everything right. You know what I mean? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to incite y'all not to go on the wrong path. So that's where we at. So let me bring my sister up here for bio, and we're gonna do what we got to do. And she's an ex-correction officer, but she'll tell you who she is. All right, what's up, sis?
Hi, hello
Uh-huh.
everyone. Thanks for
Mm-hmm.
having me first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Fabeo Watkins. I'm from Harlem, retired correction officer. I worked for the department for 23 years.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I worked group homes and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, okay. Well, let me bring my brother Haas up. Where big brother Haas at? Nah, we're gonna wait for it. We're gonna bring Harlem for real. Then we not bring Haas. Let's bring Haas up. You know what I mean? So Harlem see how Haas come up, so he can come up with a little, Haas flavor. All right.
All right,
What's up,
all
big
right,
boy?
all right.
Uh-huh.
All right, Happy New Year's, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Big
Mm-hmm.
Hoss from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Happy to be here. Happy to spread light and enjoyment and edification to our communities. You know what I mean? And I'm just thankful to be here. You know what I'm saying? Helps bring some wisdom to our community.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Harlem for real. You ready, big boy? All right, here we go. All right, that's the man of the hour.
Yo, what's
All right.
good? My name is Eric. From Harlem. People know me as Harlem for real on Instagram and Facebook and all that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, happy to be here. Happy New Year to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Happy to have
Um,
you here. How old are you, big
absolutely.
bro? If you don't
What's
mind me
that?
asking. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 40 like about a week and a half ago, bro.
Oh, you look good, homie. You look. I thought you was younger than that. That's why I asked. I thought you was in your 20s.
Nah, man, I got the grades popping off, man. I'm trying to pull them off.
Well, this YouTube lying like a mother because I don't see no gray. But anyway, let's bring the homie up. Come on, let's bring our elder up. What's up, big brother? Introduce yourself.
All right. Obona Hagen's calling from Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
This is Prison Talk here, and I want to talk about a movie, a documentary that I was featured in about 2 years ago about the dysfunctional child support system and the fathers that persevere through it. And I know you know that there's a lot of brothers who are locked up for a little bit of money, and there are some things that our brothers have to do to not even be caught up in that criminal justice for child support.
Yeah.
And the name of that movie was Where's Daddy? Yeah,
Wait.
Where's Daddy?
Mm, that's a weird one.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie.
You
Yeah,
was in there
Where's
with
Daddy
Freeway, right? You was in there with
by
Freeway.
Philadelphia filmmaker. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, Freeway is featured in there. Also, Philadelphia retired Eagle Fred Barnett and some other Philadelphia folk. And their stories are just riveting. One of the stories, Freeway was performing, and the officer backstage waiting for him to get fed because they said that he owed some money. So Freeway told the story and said how after he finished, he ran right through the crowd and ran through the front door, and the officers were waiting out back, so he went and took care of it that following Monday. But it's just a lot of pressure, unnecessary brothers go through if just by not knowing, what things they should do as fathers.
Yeah, and that's a deep one.
Yeah.
Sister Fabio, what have you seen come through the prison system as far as young men or women with child support? I'm sure you don't even see no young women with child support. What do you see with the young men?
With regard to child support, that's interesting. In the female prison, a lot of men don't visit the women, so I've always seen other family members come. Not many fathers that I can say. I mean, I worked in Bedford for a long time, and the kids are there when other family members can bring them. And please don't get me wrong, some fathers are there, but I've never seen a consistency with the dads, and also I've never really heard much regarding child care as far as being in the prison. Now, if as far as women go to the male facilities, they're lined up, they take their kids, and it's really a difference in how that goes from what I've seen.
Okay. What y'all got to say about that? What you got to say about that, Big House?
Oh well, unfortunately, I know firsthand, about the how the prison system can affect, and taking to the children can affect, a family. I know a family that unfortunately was in the hospital. So the mother being in the hospital, no one was there to watch the children. So this goes into generations now. So the mother being in the hospital, they wasn't able to watch the children. So the children end up in foster care. So now the children end up in foster care. These one girl and two boys. You know what I mean? So they end up one end up being a drug addict, one end up being a homosexual, and actually the girl actually ended up being the gangster. So what ends up happening now is the girl. Now this is the next generation. The girl ends up being a bank robber and ends up in Bedford. Now her kids got to watch her grow up in Bedford. You know what I mean? Go see her mother in Bedford as they grow up. You know what I mean? Now, unfortunately, the situation is that now this all stemmed from from the generation prior being in foster care. So the generation prior was in foster care, and you know what I'm saying. Next thing you know, the next generation, ends up seeing their mother in Bedford Hills for the simple fact that the lack of supervision and lack of parental situation because the mother had an operation. So so this when things happen in someone's family, it could be a continuing cycle that tears that family off until to generational situations where where we don't understand that the system was really the culprit.
What you think about that, Agbana? Big O.
Well, in regards to, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So that's the children are like the missing piece that a lot of people don't really think about in regards to fathers being in prison. So, and many fathers try to parent from prison, but it's just difficult to do that. But one of the things I find very interesting is that in reference to child support. So let's say that a father is behind $500. It's likely that that father will be put in jail for 30 days, or they could lose their driver's license, right? But how does that benefit that father? How does that benefit that family? It really just makes it worse. It's never a situation to see what they can do for the father. It's a saying that if a mother doesn't have money and she has children, she gets support. But the father, if he doesn't have money, he gets thrown in jail. And it spirals out of control because the father can be in jail for 30 days and then get in trouble in jail. And then it ends up being 6 months, all because of child support. So there's some legislation that needs to be written so that when a mother and a father breaks up and it's custody that's involved, that the mother and the father are looked at as equal when they go into the court. Because now in most states, the mother is looked at as being in charge, and the father has to prove and beg to be able to spend every other week with the child. But my solution to it is that the father should demand half custody from the door. And that's part of the problem. The fathers just sit back and accept every other weekend when the reality is the children need both the mother and the father equally. But many times the just give up the money as opposed to spending the time with the child. So these are some real pressing issues that want to push. And I mean, we need advocates. When you look at the number of fathers who are in prison for a few $100s, they may not be working. And then again, when they lose their license, they lose their job because they can't get to work. So it just creates a vicious cycle. So we have to be the ones that change that situation and bring those issues up if we do want to, keep brothers out of prison.
What you got to say about that, Fabi, is this only female up there?
So what I have to say is this is actually, because I didn't know this was going to be the topic, but this is actually a I'm very passionate about this, right? And so we can do the research. The first child care case, if I'm not mistaken, was a white family, or a woman who was married to a white man who, if I'm not mistaken, was very prominent, and she took him to court. Now, fast forward, because you said something, and I just want you to see I have my pad because I'm taking my little notes so I can tell you what I want to say, or I have my questions. You mentioned on something very key, brother. Most of the time, men, in my opinion, sit back because they don't want to be present in court. They don't want to have anything to do with court. And I think that's our black men as a whole, because the judicial system has not been fair to them. So they'll avoid it. And in a lot of cases, give up their rights because they don't want to deal with it. But meanwhile, the only one that really suffers in that is the children. And I agree with you. There should be something, some legislature, something in writing that gives both parents equal amount of custody. And I mean, I know you can't pull, if it's not there financially, it's not there. But I think we have to get set up better. And I think we do need mediators and people who can step in, whether it's family or friends or, someone who is in the system that can help bring the sides together for the child, because everything is for the greatest good of the child. And sometimes that doesn't happen because of emotions and egos. And, I always hear someone say, a friend of mine, he always say to different women, he was like, don't get mad at him. You chose him. And I think this goes back to another conversation we had prior on another show, where we talk about how we date and how we choose our partners. But I'm not going to veer off into that. Just to answer your question, I just think that there's a big issue here. There's no question about it. And it needs to be dealt with because the kids fall by the wayside every time.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I like to bounce around in topics. If y'all got your own questions, y'all let me know. Because y'all want to bring a topic to the table, let me know. Y'all got one? Because no one said nothing.
Well,
to y'all.
I just like to say one thing before we change the topic.
Go ahead,
Is that because what happens is that what Obama is talking about is one component of how that affects the brothers in the street. But what happens is another thing is that when these brothers are working and they working with these checks, a lot of times they'll work for 40 to 35 hours and they'll have $3 left on their check from the child support. You know what I mean? So now they work their whole check. Yeah, they working their hours, but after the child support takes, after FICA takes what they take, with the rest of the takes what they take, they have like $3 left. So what ends up happening is that these brothers that made an attempt to try to work and try to do the right thing, now they're forced to go back into the game and flip packs and and find other endeavors or pick up the gun, whatever it may be, because now, they see that, this work, doing the right thing and working, it's not going to work out for them. So this is what ends up happening. So now this is when, they end up finding themselves behind maximum security prisons and not, not just in jail for 30 days. So, this child support thing, does have a tremendous effect. And what happens is that, yes, we have our choices, but a lot of times society influences our choices. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens is, there's so many things that aggregate, in terms of what makes us make these choices. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens is that we have to understand that, yes, this child support thing is really serious, because what happens is it's turning our young men from misdemeanors to felons. You know what I mean?
All right, so let me ask y'all this. What y'all think about the youth and peer pressure?
Oh, the youth.
That's a tremendous effect.
Yeah, that's
I think that's always going to be
the.
Hold on,
especially now with the gangs.
Let's hear from Harlem for real. Go ahead, Harlem.
Yeah, he knows it. He knows it. He knows what's going on.
We'll never go nowhere. That's been around. That's going to be there. Everybody want to fit in, and unfortunately, the cool kids is the ones that's doing the bad stuff, and you want to fit into that. So, every kid start off innocent in the beginning, right? I mean, I like to read books and all that type of stuff. But, I wasn't getting none of the chicks. They wasn't digging me. I ain't had no Michael Jordan sneakers and none of that stuff. So in order to be down, I had to do stupid things, at least to feel like I was down at the moment, which then as you get older, you realize stupidity didn't really mean nothing. But for the kids, it's always going to be there,
And that's a fact. Until we start identifying the problem, you know what I'm saying? Because see, that's a man. I really respect and honor you for saying that, because a lot of men don't are man enough to say that. You know what I mean? To say, that I was following something or something, to humble themselves to be able to open up and say something like that. Because that's the situation with a lot of young men. A lot of young men are breaking their mother's hearts. You know what I'm saying? Trying to look for their manhood, or trying to look for a position in the society, because they look at they look at the larger society and find that they don't have a place there. So they look at the smaller society and they try to find their place there, and they force into an identity that is not necessarily theirs.
Yeah, I like that. Anybody got anything to add to
that? The peer pressure, right? So a lot of the peer pressure comes from, I believe, the parents not instilling certain morals and values in their children, right? And a lot of that happens because the father is not around. And one of the big things today is criminal justice reform. If you look at hip hop and you look at the men, the hip hop artists, the men, right? I can almost guarantee you at least 80% of them are going through some type of a child support situation, right? But none of them are really talking about it. So if we want to deal with the peer pressure, we got to deal with keeping fathers out of jail and in children's lives. And also, really, a lot of boys don't know what a father's responsibility really is. So these issues are all solved, I believe, by a consistent father in that child's life.
Exactly.
Now, I like this question here that was up here. The manipulators, right? The manipulators are the root. Kids are going to be influenced at a high rate. It's the so-called growing men and gangsters selling a false narrative to the youth.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fact.
That's part of it. That's part of
it. That's definitely part of it.
Well, that's what. Good. Sorry.
I think that as parents, and we speak upon parents, but in a lot of cases, parents aren't there, right? Like you have these situations with the group homes. I work group homes. I dealt with peer pressure, but I do think that a lot of it is based off what parents are instilling in their kids. And give you an example. One day I came home from school, and one day I came home from wherever, and my son was home from school, and he was watching Paid in Full. So he was around 13, and he didn't know how close his mother was to that story. So I asked him, I said, well, what did you think about the story? And he gave me his understanding of it. But it just goes to show you that if you don't guide a child's or give a child an understanding, they come up with their own. You know what I mean? And they make excuses for certain behaviors that are morally unsound. You know what I mean? And so I think that it's
Exactly.
important that we share with our kids certain things. Even as an uncle or an aunt or a grandmother or whoever, whoever the child is around, there's certain things that we have to share and with our kids, and we can't always blame the gangsters and the people who are outside the home, because everything starts in the home. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that that's a big part of it.
I mean, I would agree with that, but at the same time, we all got like cell phones and these smartphones and all of that. So the music industry, the whatever the entertainment industry, got a lot to do with the influence on the kids because, like for instance, they got Cardi B, they got Megan Thee Stallion, they got dudes that say they sell crack, shoot people, whatever. But when they get off stage, they don't do none of that. Most of the women that say that they out selling, their body or whatever, really got committed relationships and families at home, and they definitely not going out doing all of the stuff that they promoting. And the dudes is saying that they sell crack, they shot a nigga the other day, or whatever the case is. They didn't do all of that stuff because if they did, they'd be in jail. And
Absolutely.
it's just creating this false narrative amongst the kids, right? So it's almost like slave mentality back in the days, right? So think about it like this: they take one nigga, put him in the house, and let him eat with the master, and eat some scraps at the table. But to everybody else that's out in the field picking cotton, he look like he the man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he ain't no better than nobody that's out there in the field. And if he ever
Mm-hmm.
mess up a little bit, they'll send him back out there to pick cotton too. See what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
when you fast forward, you got guys like 50 Cent, Jay Z, Puff Daddy, nothing against them dudes, but they give them all the millions. These guys look good, they shine them up real nice, and it gives the kids something to look forward to try to be and to aspire to be like. So to me, they took the dumbest chick from the Bronx and gave her a bunch of millions of dollars in Cardi B, and now all of the little girls in the hood aspire to be that rather than to be something that you use your mind for. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I feel about that.
And because can I say one thing?
Go
And it's
ahead.
disturbing. It's disturbing to hear young ladies repeat that lyrics on the
Yeah,
public transit system
because
in the community. It's disturbing.
because back in the days, remember UNITY, that was the thing for the ladies. And pardon my
Right.
language, but if you call the lady the B word, she might have a big brother, somebody come see. But now it's okay to do that. It's the thing. Like
Right.
they want to be
Right.
hoes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a little different now,
I,
man.
I,
It's
I think it's
accepted.
a fine line between entertainment and what's real.
Mhm.
And, it's almost like with regard to brothers now sharing stories that when I was growing up would have been something they took to their grave. You understand what I'm saying? So now you have people who are not used to anything. They're throwing a lot of money at them. You know what I mean? It's the same with athletes. You know,
So it's almost like you're
there is a,
selling it.
there is a such thing as etiquette, right? In terms of um, rearing somebody. You have somebody who's not used to nothing, and now they have millions of dollars. There should be an in between in that, and showing them, listen, you're gonna get this money. Just almost like a like etiquette, like teaching them how to handle and be in receipt of the way their life is going to change. But at the same time,
Exactly.
I remember what was the basketball player that said, "I'm not your child's role model."
Charles
Oh
Um,
wow, I
Barkley.
remember that.
Charles
Charles
uh,
Barkley.
who?
Yeah, it was Barkley.
Barkley, right?
Barkley.
And I
Charles
had a
Barkley.
big problem. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes. I
Charles
had a
Barkley.
big problem with that. But then I thought about it. He's right. He plays basketball, and what he does on his private time is his. But I think when we talk about the village and being there for our kids, then we all have a certain responsibility. But at the
It's a
same
two-way
time,
street.
it's a two-way street. Entertainment is a big deal. You know what I mean? I remember
It's got all
UNITY,
the
but I
influence.
also remember Little Kim. You understand what I'm saying? So
that was a decade later, sis.
no, you're right.
Back
It was
then,
a decade, like yes.
when I came out, you wouldn't have no female talking like that back then. There wasn't no female rappers even thought about, you know what I mean, saying those type of things in the late 80s, early 90s like that when Latifah was out.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
right.
You know, and somebody disagreeing.
Here's the thing that
Go ahead.
here's what I'm hearing here. Everything that I'm hearing everybody say is that the world mind has control over the individual's mind.
Absolutely.
So the solution to that is that we must teach our children how to use their mind, because everything that a person does emanates from the mind. If the parent is showing that child all these designers, they're allowing them to watch television at their own leisure, then they're giving their children's mind to the world. So we gotta snatch these minds back, and
that's
nothing in the community is going to change until each individual decides in their mind that they're going to do good, that they're going to be godly, that they're going to use their good self and not their bad self. So
that's right.
all this violence that everybody's talking about stopping, it's not going to stop. It's never going to stop, because you keep introducing that word. Those words have power. The more you say that V word, the more that V word is going to come. So for me, I promote peace. I don't even introduce. My father was murdered when I was 2. He was murdered when I was 2 in these streets of Philly. But it was the mind of my father that wasn't right, in my opinion. You know, he was out. Somebody almost hit him with a car. He screams down the street. The car was already gone. Why? Maybe an ego. So we got to be able to control our mind, and everything else.
But see, that's one thing, right? Now, when I was growing up, I remember if they didn't want you to,
but
those
until
didn't
the
want you to say certain things,
whatever you see, you can actually do it if you put the work in. But we're not instilling that in our children. You have a better chance of being a rocket scientist than hitting that lottery.
Akbana, hey, Akbana, go back out and come back in real quick, because your joint is messing up, all right?
Did I break up?
Yeah, go back in and come back out, all right? Now,
this what I would like to say real quick.
Listen, everything starts from in the house. We know that. You know what I mean? And the thing is, once our kids go out the house, they're no longer in our supervision. So they're going to see what the world has to offer. You know what I mean? So if we're living in
this, right?
Let me finish, big bro. I can't hear you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If we're living in the projects and we let our child go outside in the projects and he's seen project living, that's what he's going to process. And then he's going to come up with a method of survival for that environment from what you have instilled in him within the house. You understand what I'm saying? So everything you taught him, now he's going to put it into action the way he interpreted it. So you don't ask your kid, y'all all laugh at me because I say, nah, I mean, 100 times. But if you don't ask your kid, nah, I mean, you won't know if he understand what you mean. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to make sure that whoever you're talking to know what you mean. Know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We live in a time with these smartphones, like I said before. How can you stop it? Because everybody got a phone. So with these phones, you could dial up anything that you think of.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's the point.
So look, back in the days, they used to be able to cut the TV off and all of that stuff, and that was just it. Like, and it would keep it away from you. But now with these phones, you can't monitor that stuff.
You can't monitor it.
Hold on. But listen, like you said, that's a smartphone.
Right.
So it got a lot of smart information up there if you want it, or if you know how to tell your child to seek it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you don't tell your child what to seek out, he's gonna figure it out on his own by what his peers and his community is seeking out. Right. So if you sit your child down and you show them that, man, they got some good joints on here on science, you can really learn how to do that. You don't need to be in school to make a, you know what I mean, a volcano. We could do that here at the house. Let's Google how to make a volcano. You know what I mean? Let's Google how to build a bicycle, a 10-speed bike. You want a bike? Okay, so we're going to go buy you a bike, but you're going to put it together, and me and you going to read the directions. You know what I mean?
I agree, but I just feel like it's always it's a double-edged blade, because once they get around
well, we living in a digital area.
No, it is a double-edged blade, but I'm saying we have to take responsibility.
Absolutely.
Like right now,
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Because look. I know what they want here. We got low views here now because there's not many people that want the positive. You know what I mean? They want to hear me talk about how I took over 154th Street. You know what I mean? How I went up on 160th Street and how I got shot up, jumped off the building. And that's what they want. I know what they want.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I try and give them a balance of what they want.
Well, that's the same thing. And you know what? And that's the same thing that I do with my platform.
To get them what they need. You know what I mean? So it's just one step at a time. And it's either do I want these 5,000 views I got on the video I dropped last night from talking about how I took over 54th Street. You know what I mean? Or do I want these 100 views, you know what I mean, from giving the people what they need? Now, the same child that came to watch how I took over 54th Street might drop in here for a minute.
Right.
And catch something.
I agree with that 100%, man. And that's the way I deal with my platform. I dumb it down just enough to get their attention. You know what I'm saying? Because for what I do is, I do a lot of charity work in the hood, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that nobody wants to hear feed the children all day long, feed the children. So what I do is I mix it up with a little bit of ratchetness and whatever, just to get them attention. And then I hit them with it, you know, with that other stuff. You know what I mean?
But back to responsibility. I think that we all owe it to our children. Like my son is 15 years old, and he is a little bit disappointed when his phone ring, my phone ring. If you text him, you texting me, because I want to know. He don't have no business. You understand? That's not my business. I want to know what he's doing, because I know what I was doing at 15, and I know what my peers were doing at 15. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So being a retired correction officer, I'm keeping a handle on that. Oh, yeah, I know what I was doing. And it wasn't as bad as you think, but I know what I was doing. You know what I mean? I didn't. It was the accusation in your voice. So that's why I said that. But that's the point I'm making. I know what he's doing. And if you call him, you calling me. And he hates that. When his friends text him, you know, I give him a little leeway, but not too much, because I want to know what's going on. And I'm very nosy, and I have time. I'm retired. And so I think that in that terms of responsibility, we have to do that. We have to know what our kids are doing.
Okay, so what are you giving him to do in the space of not doing the things that you want him to not do?
Well, I give him books to read. He was getting a little bored, you know, since we are in this pandemic. The books that I was giving him to read, like Sounder and things that I wanted him to read. I mean, I just want him to build his fluency, right? But he can read
Henry. You know what I mean?
Listen. My son is very well versed. There's no doubt about it.
Hey, tell him to read about the hood.
Oh, he's going to read about the hood. His godfather wrote many books. He's aware of it, but I want to keep a cap on it, because I don't want him coming to his own conclusion, right? And the books that I give him to read, like right now, he's reading the 48 Laws of Power, but he's so bored with reading that I have him on audio, because he would rather listen to it than read it. I just want him to read, even if he's reading the Daily News, I want him to read to build his fluency and his comprehension. He thinks that it's just about me trying to tell him what happened prior to him being born. That's only part of it. But what I give him is he likes to rap. You know what I mean? I give him space to tell me what it is that you like. If there's something you like, then I want to hone in on that. You a rapper? Well, I want to know what you want to rap about. And he's telling me, Ma, the only thing that's really getting likes is when I talk about negative stuff. I was like, well, you don't have to talk about negative stuff. There's other things that you can talk about. But that's where we come in terms of what it is we want to hear. You know what I mean? Like you just said, you just made a big point about how you could talk about jumping off the building on 155th, and nobody, that's what people want to hear. But then what this brother is saying, we got to change our minds and our dialogue and the things that we wanted, that we're after, and in terms of what we're putting forth in terms of content for people to be interested in. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying as far as to balance it out. You know what I mean? Meaning you still can't take away the jumping off the building on 54th Street or whatever.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because you need to give them that balance, because they have to get everything in order to make a good assessment of, you know what I mean, of a decision. You know what I mean? You can't have only how, you saying to do it and not how the world is doing it and expect your child to be able to move forward. He needs all of that. And then you got to take it that what you're giving him is enough for him to make sound decisions.
Right. I agree. Totally.
You understand what I'm saying?
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Listen, I'm gonna give you an example of something that I do,
Hold
right?
on. Here goes a good book right here. I would recommend you get him to read. This is my lawyer that got me out of prison after 36 years. She a young lady. You know what I mean? She like 38, whatever. But she was only like 8 years old when I got locked up, and she wound up growing up to free me from prison after 26 years.
Wow.
Her mother was on crack, was in the crack and everything else down in Texas. And from her going through the struggles of watching her mother because of the negative choices her mother made, that she wanted to make positive choices, you know what I mean? That it led her to law school, that gave her passion towards working to get us out. She got out over like 30 men with natural life sentence in prison. I wasn't the only one that got out.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's her name, Brittany Barnett. Trust me. Tell your son to read this book.
I will. I will buy that for him.
Because this is a female heroine right here.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and you could even there's a lot of good books you get them to read. Kevin Child's book, you know what I mean? The Crack Era. Hold up, House, I get you. You know what I mean? Miss T, Harlem Heroin. Where my little homie
I got all of that.
My man Black. You know what I mean? This my man County wrote the book. You know what I mean? That's who is by. I don't know how all that go. But I ain't promoting it. I'm just giving you books that I know.
I understand.
To take your mind to different places.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And then of course you already know about Aurora and Harlem.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, when you read these books that we're writing, we didn't write them to glorify what happened. They all have a message within it, but it's what you take out of it. And it's how you help your to comprehend it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, that's where it's at, man. But so where you at, House? You was gonna say something, big bro?
Since we holding up books tonight, this is a very important book that we all need to read, and it's called.
Right there.
You can see the title.
I can't see
Wives,
it.
right?
What is it called?
Wives.
It's called Wives Without Husbands.
Oh, Wives Without Husbands. Okay.
Okay.
That sounds like trouble there. That sounds like too much independence.
No. What happens is this is really a book that's gonna give us the solution. I really want y'all to take a look at the cover of it.
Who's that by?
It's by Anna Ara Igra. And it's about welfare. It's about welfare desertion. Anna Ara Igra. And it's about welfare desertion and families in New York City.
Okay.
From 1900 to 1935. They had this thing called the National Desertion Board. Now, what happens is this book is a remedy to our solution to all our problems that we're talking about tonight. And the reason why is because that book chronicles the welfare system in the Jewish community. That book chronicles, they had this thing called the National Desertion Board. And 100,000 Jewish women were looking for their husbands. At one point in time, what we experienced in the plague that we experienced in the Black community was a problem in the Jewish community. So what happens is that, and from our understanding, from we've seen, the Jewish community's problem is fixed. So what happens is that we have an example, you know what I'm saying, of how to fix our problems in our community. Now, this book chronicles, this is one of many books, you know what I'm saying, that chronicles the problem in the Jewish community. And someone says, well, this is hard to fathom. Well, it was a movie called Once Upon a Time in America. And Once Upon a Time in America chronicled the life of the Jewish gangsters. You can't be a gangster unless you have poor supervision. You can't be a juvenile delinquent unless you have poor supervision. So what happens is that, you know what I'm saying, this time, you know what I'm saying, this is a movie where Robert De Niro was in. So at this time, they talk about the Jewish gangster in this movie. So we know, you know what I'm saying, we get it crossed because, you know what I'm saying, we don't identify the difference in Caucasian. You know what I mean? So what happens is, you know what I'm saying, this, you know, this is redundant. So there's more than one example of, you know what I'm saying, the Jews being in dysfunctional in New York City as they transfer from Europe over here. So what happens is now they have strong communities, they have a strong base. You know what I'm saying? You can't even criticize them. So the thing about it is that, you know, what we have an example, you know what I'm saying, of how we could fix our situation because they were in the same situation. And this is the information that needs to be galvanized, and needs to be spread amongst our community. Because, you know, this is a deep book, and you know what I'm saying, and it's been out here. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, it's one of many books that, you know what I'm saying, that we need to understand because we've been fooled. You know what I'm saying? We've been fooled to believe that we are the beings that we are now, that we don't come from greatness. You know what I'm saying? And we've been fooled to believe that money is going to alleviate our poverty. You know what I'm saying? Poverty starts in the mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's our mindset that's poor. You know what I mean? And so once we start changing our mindset, that's why we have a culture of death. We have a death culture. People want to learn about negativity. People want to learn about negativity, be more negative. Why? Because we live in a world that's extremely negative. But you're not going to get the results you need being negative. You know what I'm saying? This is just like being in prison. You know what I'm saying? Just like, you know what I'm saying, we have a title, even if you don't have to be in prison. We get this thing in the spiritual system called be in the world but not of the world. This is what we have to be. We have to be in this world but not of it. You know what I mean? You have to be able to discern it. Like, if you've ever been in a prison riot, right? One thing you have to do in a prison riot is back yourself against the wall. Because everything is going on. You follow what I'm saying? So you got to see what's coming at you. You know what I mean? So the safest places to have your back against the wall. You know what I mean? Because you ain't got to worry about that. You got to worry about your front. You know what I mean? So we got to understand, we got to have our back against the wall so we can see everything that's coming at you. You know what I mean? Because when you see everything that's coming at you, then you can be prepared. But we're not prepared because, you know what I'm saying, we going things willy-nilly about it, and we're not serious about anything. We don't put no serious application. You know what I'm saying? We want to imitate street people, but we don't want to have the serious nature that took to be one. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is that, you know what I'm saying, what we creating is a bunch of cheerleaders. The sis boom bar. If you was on the street, it's either the players on the field, or you had the cheerleaders, you had the bench riders, you had the people in the stands. It's almost identical metaphor. So you know what I'm saying? What we have to do is start educating our people. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no winning in the streets. It's nothing but pain and suffering. You're gonna suffer one way or the other. Either you're gonna suffer or your children will suffer. You know what I mean? So the thing about it is that, you know what, I'm thankful for Brother Unique for creating a platform, because like you said, you know what I'm saying, the insightful video he made about get to go all these views. But the truth, no one wants to hear the truth.
Of course.
It's just like Plato's allegory in the cave. You know what I'm saying? Plato's allegory in the cave. All they had to do was come to the cave and freedom, where the light was at, where freedom was at. But they didn't want to go there. You know what I'm saying? The light blinded them. They didn't want to use the light. So what happens is that, you know what? Unique is Plato bringing us to the light. And you know what I'm saying? God bless Unique, and God bless this platform, because, you know what I'm saying, our community needed him desperately. We waited 26 years for this brother to come bring us some light.
Well,
so
amen.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because like I said, if they sit down to just watch it, you know what I mean? They're going to get something from it, because everything that come out of our mouth has been jewels. You know what I mean?
Amen.
And Hassan said, and the young lady up there both spoke on, as far as, you know, rapping about it, or you know, but not being about it. That's what I want to understand. You said your young son rap. He can rap about the gangster life, but you have to explain to him about the real life.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. Him and rap about it, because he knows the difference, and he knows that he's just performing entertaining.
And it's entertainment. Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? But when these kids get into rapping about, like, I know Tupac from growing up. You know what I mean? You know, I used to come to the club, come down to the Mecca. You know, that's my era. You know, Tupac got caught up in not being able to differentiate the two worlds. You understand? And knowing that we gangsters for real. And you're
Exactly.
you know what I mean? You're writing about being a gangster. You understand?
Right.
So you right there on the front line with the gangsters, but we're not putting you in harm's way. So don't put yourself in harm's way. Trying to be who we're forced to be.
That's right. That same thing happened to Mace.
I mean, it was my choice, you know what I mean, that I made. But I mean, a lot of the things that I did was for survival. It wasn't you know, a moralistic choice. I didn't make moralistic choices back then. You know what I mean? To be in that world, you had to make survival choices. You know what I'm saying? So morals is out the way, you know, out the window. Love is out the window. Caring is out the window. That's why they say it's an ugly game and there's no friends among thieves. You understand what I'm saying? But there's honor amongst men.
That's right.
Always be honor amongst men.
That's right.
And there'll still be a thief.
That's right.
That's right. But if they honor what they're doing and the people that they're dealing with and who they are, you know what I'm saying? Meaning, I don't rob houses, I don't stick up, I don't get all. You know what I mean? I was a twisted delinquent. You know what I'm saying? But I know now what I was doing. Back then, I thought what I was doing was right because I made a profit.
Right.
You understand? End the story. I made a profit. I'm good. I'm eating. You know what I mean? I'm going down to Jew Man's over in the Bronx, and I'm going down to Delancey Street.
Yeah.
AJ Lester's, and
that's right. KB Cons.
You know, I'm doing me. You know, OJ's is a touch of class. It's like a old school classic with the velvet seats and the big music in the back and the gooseneck antenna.
That's
you
right.
Right.
$30 an hour. $30 an hour. Go wherever you want to go.
On the OJ's. You know what I mean? But I say that to say that a lot of the choices that I've made, you know what I mean? A lot of them, I didn't want to make them, but I knew I had to make them. You know what I mean? Because if I didn't, someone would have made them on me. You know what I mean? So go ahead, Big House.
Well, you know, I just wanted to expand on what you said about Tupac, because that's the same thing that happened to Mace. He wasn't able to differentiate, you know, entertainment from the streets. You know what I mean? And so you know what I'm saying, and you know what, and that's why he ended up in the situation he ended up in. You know what I mean? Because entertainment is entertainment. You follow what I'm saying? And although you know people like to wear glamorous things and purchase glamorous stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know what happens is the entertainers get those two worlds confused. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? It happens continuously. You know what I'm saying? You know, talk about what happened with Tupac, and the same thing happened with Mace. So you know what I'm saying? What happens is that that's one of the reasons why we here to think today to get that straight. You know what I mean? Because you know what? Because you know what I'm saying? Entertainment is entertainment, and this is this over here. You know what I mean? And when you come over here, be prepared for what happens over here. You know what I mean? And it's not, you can't go run back to mommy. That's what Fabayo here about, because she done seen the other side, and you got to be prepared. If you're going to be in this game, you got to be prepared for that other side. You know what I mean? It's not talking about you want to cooperate now, you want to do this, that, and the other. You have to be prepared. This is what you signed up for.
That's right.
You signed up for this.
Yeah.
You got involved.
Grown man
business.
What I mean?
So you got to wear it.
That's right.
You got to wear it. You know what I'm saying? Just like you got to wear anything else you sign up for. If you sign up to be a plumber, you got to wear the plumber. You know what I'm saying? If you sign up to be an electrician, then you got to wear that. You know what I mean? You sign
Just get in there and cut a deal, though. A lot of niggas get in there and cut a soft deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, that's because a lot of them.
Yo, listen, hold on. If they ever bought that show, The First 48 to Harlem, you see a lot of real things on there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Hey, dude, they watched that first 48 in the joint like crack, son.
What I tell you?
I can't take it.
If they ever bought it to Harlem, it'd be a problem.
Yo, you know what? That's why I didn't even like that movie back in the day. I didn't give it a chance, but everybody watched it. That New York Undercover. Because
I used to watch that.
20 minutes after the hour, somebody was in the interrogation room telling on somebody.
Absolutely.
20 minutes after the hour, it went.
You know what's crazy?
I used to watch because I was homesick. I ain't gonna lie, I used to watch because I was homesick, but I hated the cops. But I used to just want to see it because they used to show Harlem. So I used to let me see Harlem, you know what I'm saying, for a minute. And that's why I used to go back to my cell and write my book, because I used to be like, you know what? Now at least I seen it for a minute. You know what I mean?
It's always amazing as an officer to watch what inmates watch. Like, I would be in my mind, my psyche, I'm like, you got arrested, you're in jail, and you're watching other people get arrested. Like, it was just always, but that's what was on the television.
But you have to study the police. See, what happens when you're a criminal, you have to study your enemy. That's your job. See, that's why you can't even be mad for being arrested. You got caught slipping. You follow what I'm saying? See, what happens is, even in first 48, look at they say you have the right to remain silent. They give you Miranda rights, right? And then as soon as he shut up, the nigga said, let me tell you what happened. As soon as he shut, it's almost like he shut up and it's time for him to talk. He just told him to shut up. He didn't explain to it, but that's the problem when we go back to the court system and back to that child support thing. A lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying, they fiending intelligence. It's hard for them to exercise intelligence. And this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for brothers to exercise intelligence. They like to exercise being cool. They like to exercise being a lot of different things, especially the later generations. But exercising intelligence, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because let me tell you something. I grew up with gangsters like Lamar Carter. You know what I mean? And that was a gentleman's gangster. That was a gangster's gangster.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? And them brothers, you know what I'm saying? God bless the dead. And he exercised intelligence. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch him. I learned a lot from him. You know what I'm saying? He exercised intelligence. And that's what we're not realizing. You follow what I'm saying? We're not realizing in anything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey said intelligence rules the world. Mm-hmm. And anyone who doesn't exercise intelligence bears the burden. You follow what I'm saying? So you won't bear the burden if you don't exercise intelligence.
Y'all. Big shout out to my brother D Williams, Big D. What up? Make sure you cop his new album. You know what I mean?
All right.
Section A of your new album, D. That joint banging. I like that video that we was watching the other day. But look, what y'all got to understand, man, is that Peso had said something real powerful. With that statement Peso made right here. See, the entertainment world has reversed where the rappers became the local news and they tell us what goes on in the hood through the music, but through their mentality. You know what I mean? Let's get that right. They're telling us through their mentality through the music. You understand what I'm saying?
From a spectator. From a spectator's mentality.
Meaning they ain't had bullets flying over their head. You understand what I'm saying?
They don't know what that feels like.
A dude take the pack and don't want to pay. And you got to pay your bills. Now you got to decide what to do to him. They're telling you that he ain't going to give you your money because he got all these top stories. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, you can rap about it all day, but if you haven't lived it, you can't fully understand it to express it, to make it understood so that it's a message within it. Ain't nothing wrong with talking about all the gangster stuff as long as you got a message. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because the gangster stuff exists, so you have to speak on it. So you can't act like it didn't exist. You know what I mean? Because you got to believe that the Europeans, they still tell each other, that the students about Hitler. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they still tell them Zillow Way. It's like if you dirty getting to the money, why smoke your car out? Now, if they have to stop you, they have a probable cause. You running around dumb playing big boy games. So what he's saying? Hold on 1 second, Haas. So what is he saying? That if you smoking dirty in your car, right? Like if you dirty, you're riding dirty. Like
right, exactly. No.
Why smoke in your car? Yeah, I mean, like I was riding with one of my youngins the other day that I ran with when I used to do burglaries as a kid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we drive around looking for houses to rob. You know what I mean? And you know, as black people, we always had hats, whether it's baseball cap, buckets, or whatever. We always wore hats. You know what I mean? In the winter, we wear scully, so we always have something on our head, a do rag. You know what I mean? So we riding the other day, and I had my hat on, but I'm a civilian now. I'm a journalist now, so I'm not tripping. Right. I'm riding with my man. I'm in the passenger seat, and he reached over, he snatched my hat off. I said, "Damn, son, what you do that for?" He said, "You always told me never wear your hat in the car because the police gonna stereotype you and want to pull you over." You know what I mean?
That's right.
And I said, "Yeah, but I ain't doing nothing wrong now. I'm legal now." He said, yeah, but you still want to deal with him? You know what I mean? I said,
Right.
yeah, that's a good point. But this is my soldier pulling my card. You know what I mean? So that means that my message was well received. Big Rob report. What's up, big homie? You know what I mean?
You know,
so
that's a fact, though. You know.
Go ahead, House.
No, that's a fact. You know, that's one of the things. The reason I'm still here, because when first of all, I ain't like flashy cars, because that bring a lot of attention. Second of all, I used to always ride by myself or with a lady. You know what I'm saying? Because 3, 4 people in the car, what happens that, you know what I'm saying, that's extra bodies for them to grab. Second of all, you know what I'm saying? There's protocols. Then I used to never ride with my hat on, and then I used to never ride with my seat back. I used to say I ride the steering wheel like this anyway. So I never used to ride with my seat back, you know, trying to look over like I can't see anything. Right. So now you say I done switched the narrative. You follow what I'm saying? Because they looking for the seat back with the hat on. So you switched it and I'm riding in the hoopty. Wow. So you ain't even looking at the car. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never had a license. I have, you know what I mean? So what happens is that, you know what, it's certain practices that you practice that'll keep you on these streets. But what happens, a lot of our young men too busy being cool.
Now, but you know what's funny though, now that you mentioned about being cool, just like we talk about where the sagging pants came from California, they give them a belt. So they was wearing their pants sagging and they came home and they started running without belts and Now everybody doing it. You know what I mean? But the same thing as far as what you were just speaking on. What was that you were just saying? Hit me because my mind just got a freeze lock.
Oh, because I was talking about being low, like, you know what I'm saying, keep riding with the seat.
All right, like riding low in the car. Back in the day, to give y'all one of my old prison stories. I mean, my old gangster chronicles. You know? So y'all understand. We used to ride low in the car, leaning like this because it was more like we was hiding below the jar of the door and the window, so you giving them less. So when you coming through, they can't see you. You just creeping.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why we lean in the car. We just creeping. You know what I mean? Got our pistol right there on our lap on the passenger seat. You know what I mean? But we just creeping. You know what I mean? And we never know what's gonna happen, so we ready to bust off. So that's where that came from. You know what I mean? So then now you had dudes that'll come through doing the same thing that they seen, you know, the gangsters do, and get their car shot up because they're the neighborhood. You know what I mean? But we know where we creeping at when we ride low, when you only see the brim of our eye over the hat. That's why you wear the hat like that. You know what I mean? You follow me? So let's say where the history where all this come from. But all that come from knowing how to survive. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And you know, we didn't know no better because we had no blueprint. When crack came out, everybody got money. No one taught us what to do with the money. We wasn't even going to school. And then they dropped a bunch of crack in the neighborhood and say get money. You know what I mean? We didn't even have an education. We didn't have because I should have bought up millions of buildings in New York.
And that's,
you know what I mean?
And that's a big deal.
But yeah, exactly. But from the wisdom that I got yesterday, I'm gonna do something different today so I can get those buildings tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't cry over, man. I shoulda. No, I did everything God allowed me to do. You know what I mean?
And in the scope of your,
and He allowed me to survive. So I'm not mad and I can't be mad. You know?
That's right. That's right. Everything has a plan and a purpose. God got a plan and a purpose for you. You know what I mean? Look how many times Mike lost it and got it again. Mike Tyson lost it, got it again, lost it again, got it back again. So you know what I'm saying?
He was getting 30+ million a fight. How you
know what I'm saying? He came home to 100 million. Yeah. He came home when he came home. They slid him 100 million when he came home. You know what I mean? But you know what? But the thing about it is the message in our life. See, that's the thing about it. It's not about the money. It's a message in our life. It's a plan and purpose. Malcolm X died with $600 in his bank account, but everybody know who he is. You know what I'm saying? You got this body for a reason. You got this body to use it, not to follow suit. You know what I'm saying? Like the elders used to say, if everybody was jumping off the roof, would you do it too? You know what I mean? And that's the kind of mindset we got right now. We want to follow the leader. This one do it, I want to do it too. You know what? Get the iPhone, get the Fire Stick, go do this. Let the kids watch the tablet. Well, we don't understand. Let me get back to these children, right? These kids reinterpret everything that the media gives them. See, what happens is we lack child care. So when we lacking child care, we got the 19-year-olds taking care of the 13-year-olds. We got the 13-year-olds watching the 6-year-olds. You understand what I'm saying? And they're exposing these children to things that's beyond their means and
or understanding. Right.
Exactly. But what happens is, so now these kids are reinterpreting it. You know, they're walking around. We see the kids in the neighborhood, grab them to say something to, especially the young walking around, you know what I'm saying, showing themselves provocative because they're not being taken care of properly. No one's looking at, and everybody think it's all right. Then on top of it, I got daughters. You know what I'm saying? Well, how is it that we allowing our daughters to dress with, you know, the midriff open and stuff like that? This is, you know what I'm saying? You know, these are things that when my children were young, I've been frowned
upon. Should be
So
unacceptable. It should be unacceptable.
How we letting our children wear spandex and stuff like this and that and the other? You know what I mean? And I understand, and the culture that we live in today. You know what I'm saying? We have to own some responsibility on what we're doing.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? And what happens is that a lot of times in the black community, let's break this down now. A lot of times in the black community, what the brother was talking about earlier, Harlem for real. A lot of times the kids that have a lot of stuff in the black community are the kids. A lot of times they the ones, their parents not looking out for them. They not really loving them. They just giving them haircuts and coats and buying them stuff just to cover the fact that they're not being a good parent. You follow what I'm saying?
No,
this is what's going on. And this is a lot of what's going on. So now they got this freedom to cause mischief. You know what I'm saying? And they look, you know what I'm saying, like somebody to be because they got on a new coat, they got on the new sneakers, they got a new haircut, and they always got something new. But what happens is they not getting nothing new put in the brain.
In the mind.
They not getting their minds fed. They not getting called believing themselves. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is that this comes from the black and white dog test. You know what I'm saying? With Kenneth Clark. You know what I'm saying? When they did the black and white dog test, and you know what I'm saying, people prefer black children prefer the white dog over the black dog, believing that the white was good. You know what I mean? So subconsciously, even before our children could read, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, and a young lady replicated this test on YouTube a few years ago, like in 2007, and it's the same result. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta understand psychologically, we not in love with ourselves. It's hard for me. I understand it. You know what I mean? But it's hard for me. I can't. That's not my truth because I love being black. I love my people. You follow what I'm saying? All shapes, colors, forms, whatever. Because you know what? We gotta flow. I listen to Ron G all day. You know what I'm saying? Saying Ron G all day. They kept saying Mecca audio, unique Mecca audio. You know what I'm saying? And I forgot that's part of our culture. The blend tapes, the mix tapes. This man part of our culture. You follow what I'm saying? So what happens is that we got to take back our culture. A year ago, they was talking about culture. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We go with trending stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we don't hold it to the heart. You know what I'm saying? A year ago, 2 years ago, they was talking about Wakanda, a fake African country. You follow what I'm saying? But we won't say Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Angola, and none of that. We won't represent that Ghana. We won't say Nigeria. We won't say none of that. But we'll say Wakanda, you know what I'm saying, a character. So we've turned into characters, imitating characters.
Okay.
Yeah. But see, Tamika Moody had said it up there that, I don't know if I can find it, said that we don't know how to be parents or something like that. But that's exactly what it is, if you really want to know. Because, like I always say, there was no blueprint, man. We
that's
really
right.
didn't know. You know what I mean? Where's that? I just seen it right there. You see, they did not know how to be parents. Yo, there was no blueprint, man. There wasn't no blueprint how to be a hustler. Like I said, crack just came in the neighborhood. There was no blueprint how to be a rapper because there was no rappers from our neighborhood. There was no blueprint how to be a mogul. It wasn't no blueprint how to run a club. It wasn't no blueprint how to run a studio. We had to create it because all of these things is things.
Well, there was none for us. Put it like that, because there was something that existed. There was none for us.
No. I'm saying there wasn't none because they didn't have no rap music. They didn't have no rap label, no rap lane at the time.
Okay.
When I was on the street, they didn't have any gangster rap record label in New York City.
Okay.
Let's get it right. And let's let it be known that Def Jam was not considered as a gangster rap record label.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So let's stop it. We never had a gangster rap record label. That's why when Puffy came out, he named it Bad Boy to try and fit into the gangster rap thing. And that's why when Suge Knight came with Death Row, that's why it became gangster versus gangster. So Death Row was trying to show there was more gangster than this gangster. And that's the problem, that we're too busy trying to compete instead of trying to come together.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
And for everybody. They could have collaborated together and made billions. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Right.
But instead, they quick to
Egos and
they're quick to listen to the people above say, man, forget him. You know what I mean? Why you gonna split it with your group members when you can go solo?
That's right. That's right.
JoJo.
But he pit
You
niggas against
That's
each other.
right.
Hey, you can do it on your own, boy.
right.
You know,
And if you
Uh-huh.
came from a household
Bobby, you
where
don't
you
need
didn't
that.
have
You know, a house is not a home. A
right.
house costs too much. We don't need a home. We can get our own place. And then they all run off to believe these dreams that they can be their own big star because they want to be the only one on stage. And that's why out of all of the boy bands and all that, urban boy bands from back in the day that I respect, is them boys, the men. You know what I mean?
Right.
They always stay
Right.
together. That one
That's
boy
right.
can't do nothing but sound with that face. Ooh. And they keep him in there. He still getting Then they got a deep voice. Don't do nothing. Now doing this and broke up. Everybody done ran in and out of doing this. And they had 4 or 5 different new members. But boys to
Right.
men, the only ones that stayed and went together. You know what I mean?
That's
But
right.
don't forget what Bill
You will not see
DeVoe made
why.
100 different groups trying to figure out how to eat. You understand? Instead of
That's
just
right.
staying together.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
Stick the
Look at
course.
all of these. That's how they all mess up. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is, man. So, you know, I watched all this from the beginning. I watched, like I said, when there was no gangster rap record label over here on the East Coast. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
I remember when Tim Dog made F Compton. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tim Dog,
Man,
that was my
yep. Matter of
You
fact,
know
the
what I
first gangster rap was AZ in them. That
Yeah.
gangster shit, that gangster
Exactly.
rapper, man,
You
and
know
the
what I mean?
whole Harlem played that. That
Hey,
was
exactly.
that was Harlem's
No.
national anthem.
And to me, I think that's one of the best underground albums of all time.
Someone else said
Yes,
that.
mob style. Yes,
That
see, yes,
Mob Style
indeed.
song with fire. You can't take
Yes,
none of that away. You know?
yeah,
Right.
exactly. That
But
album, the second album, the DL, all that, man. Listen, man. 8 p.m. Black or Black BM. Across 112th Street, rocking the old funky beats. Who's in it? The windows are tinted. Hey, I remember that, baby. Listen, I was wide open then, baby.
yo, like what a whip up say, put a cap in you, go to your way, put a cap in you, go to your wake, and then I kiss you. Tell your mama that I kiss you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But see, you know what's funny about then? What happens is that the criminal then, what people don't understand is this. Back then, when we did crime, we was also with the mindset we gonna pay to get out of it. We gonna pay the lawyer. We gonna pay we gonna pay whoever we got to pay to get out of it. You follow what I'm saying? So what happens is that not only did you have the Benz, the tricked out Benz, you had the tricked out lawyer too. You follow what I'm saying? And depending on your level in the game, depending on what kind of lawyer you had. You follow what I'm saying? But that was something that you had to have. You had to brag that you had a lawyer or retainer. You follow what I'm saying? That was something to brag about. You follow what I'm saying? Yo, listen, man. You follow what I'm saying?
Huh? That
I think
was
these
before
niggas
the
tell they way out of it now, though.
when it was just the state, you could do all that. But them
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It don't matter how much
Hey,
you
yo,
got with the
I learned this. I got older too.
You know, just so everybody know. That's why we say they ain't worth it. Don't do it. Don't get involved in it.
Right. Because the feds watch for years.
We've been up here long enough this week, yo, Haas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope we touch somebody today. I'm gonna let the young lady and the brother Harlem for real let y'all tap out, give your clothes out, your tags, whatever you want to big up. You know, we've been up here a little over an hour. You know what I mean? Friday night we're gonna be over at Grown Folk Talk, but in a couple of days we're gonna move this video over to Unique Mecca Audio TV. We only did it over here because it's with the people of that, but we're gonna transfer this to Unique Mecca Audio TV, you know, by the weekend. So if you don't see this, that's where it'll be. All right, we're gonna put together some little clips so you know where it's at Unique Mecca Audio TV. Go ahead, House, before they close out. You want to say something, big bro?
No, I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say get well to my man 40. You know what I'm saying? And Ace is to his mother. You know what I'm saying? I just want her to get well, get better. You know what I'm saying? The rich kids, my niggas from 45th, A Society. I just want to say get well to his mother, man. You know what I mean? Because she's a good woman, man. You know what I mean? I just want to say get well to 40, my man 40, his son LA. You know what I'm saying? The whole family, man. You know what I'm saying? Because his mom was real instrumental in me being able to take care of my daughters, man. My man 40 and my man and his mother. So I just want to say, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Give everybody get their prayers to her. You know what I'm saying? Because we need her, man. You know what I mean? She's a really good woman, man. You know what I mean? So I just want to say that. A Society, rich kids for life.
All right. Tamika Moody, no, we're not here next week. I'm going to do this every other week. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to oversaturate the joint because I got to move everything from this channel, Unique Mecca Audio, over to Unique Mecca Audio TV. So we're going to be here just like back in the days on Mother's Day. You know what I mean? If y'all remember what Mother's Day in the hood is, that's when we'll be here. We'll be here on the 1st and the 15th for the checks come.
That's right, baby.
1st and the 15th. I like that.
1st and the 15th, baby.
That.
So we had the first week of the month and the middle week of the month. That's the 1st and the 15th. That's Mother's Day. But just so y'all know, man, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a goddamn friend. But,
that's right, baby. Tell a friend.
All right, close out, baby. Give us your close out, family. You know, and your shout outs to whoever.
Home for real.
My nigga.
That's
Yes,
it?
sir. All right. Oh, yeah. So, I do a little something, man, for the hood. I try to give them the news or whatever, keep them posted on what's happening.
Tell them where you at.
From whoever got.
Tell them where you at, where they come see your news at.
Oh, you can find it on Instagram or Facebook, Harlem, the number 4 real, REAL, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
there you go.
find out everything from what's happening in the mainstream in Harlem down to who got snuffed down the block from right where you stay at to where the police doing what they doing at, all of that, you know what I mean?
Right.
I tell you what the police doing, I never tell the police on you. What's up?
You say it's at Harlem for real?
Harlem, the number 4 real. It's a little blue and green world, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I want you to promote your brand. I want to check it out. I want my people.
Yeah, for real.
That's what I'm telling you, man. You know, check it out. It's everything in Harlem. You find out who got punched in the mouth, who's smoking crack over there, which nigga doing this and that with the police, giving head at all of that, baby. You know what I mean? So,
you on YouTube too or just Instagram?
Well, I started with YouTube, but I didn't really follow up on it. I got to get back into it. I was just talking to somebody about that.
You on Instagram?
Yes, sir.
He on Instagram. He on Instagram and Facebook.
Now I want to make sure they know where to go check my man out. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I'm here, baby. Anything Harlem. I got something to do with everything Harlem. I'm there.
But I'm gonna check it out. With that, we can put together something and collaborate something. You know what I mean? Don't go nowhere, sis.
I would like to thank you again for having me on. This was very interesting, and I look forward to coming back. I'm a recent grad of New York Film Academy, so if you're looking for somebody to shoot your documentaries, I'm her. Say that again.
You got a camera and all that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Huh?
You got a good 4G camera?
I have a pretty good camera that shoots also in 4G. Yes.
Okay, talk that.
Okay.
Mother sister, go ahead, mother sister.
We're gonna work something out where pick you up and you can take me to a couple of the blocks and we shoot a couple of live joints. You know what I mean?
That would be awesome. I would love that. I would definitely love that.
People are editing it with the B-rolls and all that. You know, I like to have my footage in it. You know what I mean? That you see how I did my joints, right?
Oh yes, I'm impressed. Very much impressed. Yes. And I also have a documentary that I did. It's called The Talk, and it is a very, very powerful piece. Haas actually is in it, and it's about me having the talk with my son if he's ever stopped or detained by the police, how I want him to respond to make it through the encounter.
Powerful,
so
powerful information.
Yeah, it's a real powerful piece. So
powerful piece. Yes.
And I look forward to coming back, and you can follow me at Bayo Banks the Billionaire. We have to speak these things into existence.
And that's where you can see that?
No, as a matter of fact, it's actually about to be in Charlotte, in Charlotte's Film Festival. So because of that, it's not on any other outlets until it airs there. And then but I'm going to send you a link so that you can actually see it, because I think it's something you'll enjoy, and ultimately down the line is something that we could share with everyone.
Matter of fact, my sister said she got your number. I'm gonna call you after this, and we're gonna set something up where I can pick you up. I need to shoot a couple of joints, you know, tell a couple of my little war stories. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Absolutely, no question.
I don't want to scare you off or nothing when I tell you.
No, you can't scare me. I'm from Harlem. I'm from Lincoln. You can't scare me.
All right.
I've
All
done,
right.
I've done
132.
just about as
Mad
much time.
ass.
I've done just about as much time you did in jail. So we
but you didn't have to eat Jack Mac every night.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Location 132.
That's true. Thanks,
Okay,
guys,
yo.
for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you. And Happy New Year. Nice meeting you all.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. God bless.
All right, Harlem. I'm gonna see you, homie. Good looking, family. I'm gonna hit you up. All right. You too, sis. I'm gonna hit you in a few minutes, and we try and put something together when you're available. I need to shoot something like real quick.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So Sunday we got brunch, right?
Yeah. Sunday brunch. Yeah.
Next Sunday.
Grown folks talk.
Yeah. Not this Sunday, a matter of fact, because the following week, so everybody understand that. But Friday we got the grown folks talk, and then we're gonna take off a week. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get these editors to start chopping these videos up, and I'm gonna start shooting some more prison stories and jump this thing off. The end of the year been a little, spooky for me dealing with this Christmas and Thanksgiving thing that I ain't used to. But it's done, so I can breathe again. But all right. So give you a shout out before we go, baby boy.
I just want to give a shout out. I just want to give a shout out to my Bushwick family, to my Brownsville family, to all my peoples in South Jamaica, Queens. I just want to give a shout out to all my people in the South Bronx, Mitchells, Melrose, Batanzas, all my peoples all around town, Philly, everybody, New York City. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can follow me, Hassan Hagans on Instagram, Hassan Hagans on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? We spread a peace, love, and joy, and understanding, baby.
Hey,
all right?
Let me find out that you got the what the heck is that? Like you got the old school, you in the club, giving your shout outs in the club. You shout out Pookie Duke on 14th Street, shoot over there on 18th Street. You know what I mean? Come on, y'all.
Hey, I told you I was listening to Ron G all day. You know what I mean? So I guess I channeled the energy.
You know what I mean? All right, well,
you know?
Close out. All right, yo, House,
all right, baby.
See you Friday night, baby. All right?
All right, baby.
All right.
All right.